We also hope that this course will be taken by both business and engineering students. The second is, if somebody wants to go from an innovation into an enterprise, they need the opportunity to do something about it. Now, what does that mean? So to me, that means the opportunity means they need the time to be able to pursue entrepreneurship. They need the funding to get started. They need the actual technology, the innovation to make it big. And finally, of course, they need the money. And so out of all of our different innovators, they've created their opportunities in many different ways. And I'm just going to tell you 3 of their stories very briefly. So one of our incubatees is a company formed by a group of 4 alumni from IIT Madras. And they just decided one day that they wanted to design products for India. So they quit their jobs and they got started. They were fortunate to get initial support from the engineering community in forms of contacts and contracts. And after about 18 months of work, after deciding that they're just going to create their own opportunity, they've somewhat succeeded. Their opportunity is there, they have their business running, and their first commercial product should be reaching the markets very soon. Another example of a way to create an opportunity is one of our incubatees who is a small-scale industry, and he decided he wanted to do products for rural markets. He's a manufacturing person, he wanted to do rural products. Unfortunately, he didn't have the technology background, but he created his opportunity in a different way. He's a businessman, he knows the business side. He went out and found somebody who did technology and wasn't able to do the business side of things. They put together a partnership, and he's now in the early stages of marketing this technology for rural areas. And that, to me, is a very good win-win situation. The businessman gets the technology out to the people who can use it. The technology developer gets his technology out there in a way that he couldn't have done himself. The final example of creating an opportunity, or actually losing an opportunity in this case, is a graduating student we were working with, and he had a great innovation, but unfortunately, as a graduating student, and a bright graduating student, he also had a number of interesting job offers, which paid quite well. And so we said to him, listen, you have a good idea, we want to support you. So we'll give you seed funding, we'll give you support, we'll offer you networks, we'll do everything you can to try and get this innovation out, and we'll even give you a fellowship to cover your personal expenses. After some discussion, his parents were also convinced, but in this case, the opportunity fell through because he succumbed to peer pressure. His friends were saying, how can you let this great job go? What if it doesn't work out? You'll spend 2 years, then what'll happen? And so that opportunity was lost because of what I would term as cultural reasons. So what can IIT do about it? Again, IIT Madras is doing some very interesting things. The class of 1981 has just given the students of IIT a forum called the Center for Innovation, which is a space which I believe has been officially open and I think is functional now, which is a chance to discuss, to experiment, to actually build things, and where I believe when smart people get together, it's a place where good things can happen. In my undergraduate program, we called it a cooperative education program. So we would study for 4 months and then we would work for 4 months. And I believe that such work-study programs are very useful because they provide students with income, contacts, and experience, all of which are useful when you want to become an entrepreneur. Incentives to get started. So if we can try and put these things into coursework, things like academic credit allow students to make use of their time in a way that it's not taking away from their academic work, but it actually becomes part of their academic work. And finally, and most importantly, I think IITs need to give students the opportunity to fail. Entrepreneurship is risky. And if the culture of excellence is too focused on academic results and performance, there's a lot that can be lost. Many, many good entrepreneurship opportunities can be lost because students simply don't have the opportunity to fail. And finally, in terms of inspiration, people come to us with all sorts of different reasons, different stories why they've innovated, why they've gone from innovation to entrepreneurship and why they want to do it in the first place. Some people are inspired by their parents or their dying parents who said, I always wanted to do this, I couldn't do this, I want you to design products for rural India. Some people saw needs. We have a doctor who saw children dying in her hospital daily, and she said, I have to do something about this, and not just in my hospital, I want it to spread outwards. And some people, we have one incubatee, she saw a speech from a professor at IIT Madras, and she was so inspired, she said, you know what, I'm going to go out and do something about it. There are many different stories. But I think importantly is that this message spreads out to all of India. And I think this is where IIT really has an opportunity, because IIT is looked up to by Indians and also by people around the world. The brand, the cachet that's held by the institution, its alumni, its students, its faculty is so great that I think if IIT can make some sort of program, some sort of change, they can implement this idea of linking innovation with entrepreneurship, everyone in India will follow. People look up to it, and everyone in India will follow. And so any change that's made by IIT will be a great opportunity for India. Thank you.